You ever been at a place so low, so deep, that you wonder if you'll ever see the light again? I mean, the kind of place where it feels like the air is running out, where you wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and don't even recognize yourself? Maybe life hit you with something you never saw coming, a loss, a failure, a betrayal, and now you're just sitting there staring at the ceiling life built over you, feeling like there's no way out. Listen to me, every great comeback starts at the bottom. Every champion, every leader, every success story you admire, they all had their bottom moments. But here's the thing, the bottom is just a chapter in your book, not the whole story. See, some people hit rock bottom and build a home there. They settle in, unpack their baggage, and convince themselves that this is just how life is going to be. But you can't afford to do that. The bottom is not your final address. It's just a place you're passing through. I know what some of you are thinking, but you don't know my struggle, and you're right, I don't. But I do know this, struggle is universal, but so is survival. You are not the only person who has been through pain. You are not the only person who has faced setbacks. And you are definitely not the only person who can make it out. The problem isn't just that you're at the bottom. It's that you've started believing that's where you belong. And that's the biggest lie the world will ever tell you. You weren't created to stay down. You weren't designed to live in darkness. You were built to rise. But let's get real for a second. Climbing out of the bottom isn't easy. It takes work. It takes faith. And it takes the right mindset. You can't just sit around waiting for someone to come rescue you, because the truth is, no one is coming to save you. You've got to be the one to fight for your future. And that's what today is about. It's about realizing that you still have a name. You still have power. You still have a way out. But first, you've got to make a choice. Will you keep circling the drain, or will you start climbing? I'm going to walk you through some key lessons, truths that will change your life if you let them. Lessons about taking responsibility, recognizing deception, embracing struggle, and taking real action to break free. Because you can get up from the bottom, but only if you're willing to fight for it. So if you're ready, if you're tired of feeling stuck, tired of being overlooked, tired of living a life that's less than what you deserve, then listen up, because today is the day you start your climb. The bottom ain't permanent. Let's get one thing straight right now. The bottom is not where you belong. It's where you are, but it's not who you are. Too many people treat rock bottom like a forever home instead of what it really is, a temporary stop. See, when life knocks you down, you've got two choices. Lay there and accept it, or start looking for a way up. The biggest mistake people make when they hit rock bottom is believing that it's permanent. They start thinking, this is just my life now. This is all I'll ever be. And the moment you accept that lie, the moment you start making excuses instead of making moves, that's when you get stuck. You stop trying, you stop dreaming, you stop fighting. And before you know it, you're not just in the bottom, you become a part of it. Let me tell you something. Nothing in life is permanent unless you decide it is. Your failures, temporary. Your mistakes, temporary. Your pain, temporary. The only thing that lasts forever is what you choose to do with it. You might be broke right now, but that doesn't mean you're destined to be broke forever. You might feel lost right now, but that doesn't mean you'll never find your way. You might have been betrayed, hurt, overlooked, but that doesn't define you. The bottom is not your final chapter, it's just part of the story. And guess what? You're the author. But here's the catch. You can't move forward if you keep reading the same old page. Too many people get comfortable in their misery. They complain about their situation, but deep down they've made peace with it. They let fear convince them that climbing up is harder than staying down. And that's a lie. See, the pain of staying the same is far worse than the pain of change. Staying down keeps you stuck, miserable and powerless. But choosing to rise, that's where your power is. That's where your story changes. That's where you prove to yourself that you were never meant to live in the dark. So what do? You stop settling. you stop saying, this is just how it is. Instead, you start saying, this is just where I'm at for now. You start shifting your mindset from I can't to how can I? You start looking for solutions instead of excuses. You start taking small steps, even if they feel like nothing at first. And listen, I'm not saying the climb is easy. It's not. But what I am saying is this: it's worth it. Every struggle you overcome, every fear you face, every small step you take, it all adds up. And before you know it, you're not staring up from the bottom anymore. You're on your way up. This is just the beginning. Next, we talk about reclaiming your name, because you still have one and it still matters. Your name still matters. When life knocks you down, when you hit the bottom so hard that you don't even know which way is up anymore, it can make you forget who you are. You wake up every morning feeling like a ghost walking through life with no direction, no purpose, no identity. You start believing the labels the world puts on you: failure, broke, unworthy, not enough. You start thinking, maybe this is just who I am now. But let me tell you something, your name still matters. Even if you feel forgotten, even if you feel like nothing, even if life has stripped you of everything you once had, you are still you. And that means you still have value, you still have potential, you still have a way out. See, when people hit rock bottom, the first thing they lose is their confidence. They stop believing they're capable of anything better. They stop believing they even deserve better. But listen, life can take a lot from you: your money, your job, your relationships. But the one thing it can't take unless you let it is your identity. But here's the problem. Most people don't lose their name because the world took it. They lose it because they gave it away. They let failure define them. They let pain silence them. They let people's opinions shape them. They let their past write their future. And if that's you, it's time to take it back. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't even know who I am anymore. That's okay, because here's the truth. Your name isn't just something you were given. It's something you build. And if life has tried to erase who you are, then it's time for you to start rewriting it. How do you do that? By changing the narrative. See, when you wake up every morning, you have two choices. You can look in the mirror and see everything you've lost, or you can look in the mirror and see everything you still have left. You can say, I am broke, I am lost, I am nothing. Or you can say, I am strong, I am growing, I am more than my circumstances. Your words matter. Your thoughts matter. Your name matters. So reclaim it. That means stop letting your past mistakes define your future decisions. That means stop listening to people who only remind you of your failures. That means stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to be great. Because let me tell you something. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You don't need somebody else to tell you who you are. You already know you are not your pain. You are not your failures. You are not stuck. You are becoming. And once you reclaim your name, once you remind yourself of who you are, that's when you take the next step, owning your situation. Because the truth is, nobody's coming to save you. You have to take control. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. Stop blaming, start owning. Let's get real for a second. Where you are right now might not be your fault, but staying there is your responsibility. Life hits hard, and sometimes it knocks you down in ways you never saw coming. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe someone you trusted betrayed you. Maybe you made a mistake that cost you everything. I get it. But here's the truth. Blaming won't build your future. Owning will. See, too many people spend their lives pointing fingers at everyone and everything around them. It's the economy. It's my upbringing. It's my boss. It's my parents. It's the system. Now listen, I'm not saying those things didn't play a role. Maybe they did. Maybe life wasn't fair to you. But here's the thing. You can't change what happened. You can only change what happens next. Blame is easy. It's comfortable. It gives you an excuse to stay where you are. But let me tell you something. Nothing grows in blame. Nothing gets better in blame. The moment you stop blaming and start owning, that's when you take your power back. See, when you blame the world for your problems, you give it control over your future. You put your success, your happiness, your breakthrough in someone else's hand. And if you're waiting on someone else to come fix your life, let me save you the trouble. Nobody's coming. If you want to get up from the bottom, you have to own your life, own your decisions, own your attitude, own your response to what happened to you. Because it's not about what life did to you, it's about what you do next. Now, I know that's hard to hear. It's easier to stay mad. It's easier to say it's not my fault, so it's not my problem. But here's the reality. Even if it wasn't your fault, it's still your life. And if you don't take responsibility for it, who will? So what do? You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You stop talking about how unfair life is and start making moves. That means if you lost your job, don't waste another second blaming your boss. Start learning a new skill. Start networking. Start applying. Start hustling. If someone hurt you, stop giving them power over your future. Heal, grow, move on. If you made mistakes, don't dwell on them. Own them, learn from them, and do better. Because listen, taking ownership doesn't mean ignoring what happened. It means refusing to let what happened define your future. It means standing up and saying, I will not be a victim, I will be a fighter. And once you do that, once you take control of your own life, something shifts inside of you. You stop circling the drain. You stop feeling stuck. You start realizing that no matter how deep the hole is, you can climb out of it. And that brings us to the next step, understanding that the drain ain't your destiny. Because you weren't meant to stay stuck, you were meant to rise. The drain ain't your destiny. You ever feel like you're just circling the same problems over and over again? Like no matter how hard you try, you always end up right back where you started? That's what happens when you get stuck in the drain. The drain is that place where dreams go to die. It's where frustration lives. It's where excuses pile up. And if you're not careful, it'll swallow you whole. See, the drain doesn't just pull you down physically. It pulls you down mentally. It makes you believe that no matter how hard you try, nothing will ever change. But let me tell you something. The drain ain't your destiny. I don't care how long you've been stuck there. I don't care how many times you failed before. You were never meant to stay in the drain. You were built to rise. But here's the problem. Too many people make the drain their home. They adjust. They settle in. They convince themselves this is just the way life is. They stop believing that anything better is possible. And let me tell you, that's the most dangerous place to be. Not at the bottom, hopeless at the bottom, because listen, life will knock you down, but you don't have to stay down. You have more control than you think. But you got to stop circling. You got to stop doing the same things that keep you stuck. Let's get real for a second. If you keep hanging around the same negative people, why are you surprised that you feel drained? If you keep making the same choices, why are you shocked that your situation isn't changing? If you keep telling yourself, I can't, how do you expect to break free? The drain is a cycle. It keeps pulling you back because you keep feeding it. So what do? You break the pattern. That means you stop entertaining people who bring you down. That means you stop repeating the same mistakes and start learning from them. That means you stop waiting for a miracle and start making moves. Because listen, you can't pray for a breakthrough while you keep running in circles. At some point, you have to start climbing. I know it's hard. I know the weight of everything you've been through feels heavy. But here's what you need to understand. The drain only has power if you keep giving it power. The moment you decide, I'm done circling, I'm done settling, I'm done believing, I'm stuck, that's the moment everything starts to change. Because guess what? The climb starts with a decision, a choice. A moment where you say enough is enough. And once you make that choice, once you commit to breaking the cycle, it's time for the next step, fighting your way up. Because nobody's going to hand you a ladder. You have to build your own. And that's exactly what we're talking about next. Build your own ladder. Let me tell you something. Nobody's coming to save you. Read that again. Nobody. Not your friends, not the government, not some magical stroke of luck. If you want to climb out of the bottom, you have to build your own ladder. See, too many people stay stuck because they're waiting on something. Waiting on the perfect opportunity, waiting on someone to give them a break, waiting on life to get easier. But let me ask you this. How long have you been waiting? And how much has changed? Exactly. Waiting on work. If you want to rise, you have to start building. You have to start creating your own way out. And the truth is, the tools you need, you already have them. Now, you might be thinking, no, I don't. I don't have the resources. I don't have the connections. I don't have the education. I don't have the money. Listen to me. It ain't about what you don't have. It's about what you do with what you do have. Some of the most successful people in the world started with nothing. No money, no support, no clear path forward. But they didn't sit around waiting for a handout. They picked up the scraps they had and started building. So what's in your toolbox? Let's break it down. Your mind, your ideas, your creativity, your ability to learn, that's your first tool. If you don't know something, learn it. If you're missing a skill, develop it. If the internet is free, knowledge is everywhere. Stop saying, I don't know how, and start figuring it out. Your time. Everybody's got 24 hours. The difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck, how they use those hours. You got time for Netflix, for scrolling, for complaining, but do you have time to invest in yourself, your effort? Hard work ain't easy, but it's undefeated. Nobody ever climbed out of the bottom by being lazy. If you want to rise, you have to outwork your situation, period. Your choices. Every decision you make is either building your ladder or keeping you at the bottom. Every dollar you spend, every person you entertain, every habit you keep, it's all shaping your future. Choose wisely. Now, I won't lie to you. Building your own ladder is tough, it's slow, it's frustrating, and it's going to test you. But here's the truth. You either build or you stay stuck. And once you start climbing, once you get a little higher, you'll realize something. It was never impossible. It was just hard. But don't get it twisted. Climbing isn't just about going up. It's also about knowing what's trying to pull you back down. And that's what we're talking about next. The devil that's coming for you and how to recognize the traps before you fall back in. The devil is coming, spot the traps. Let me tell you something. The moment you start climbing, the devil is coming for you. Oh, you thought this was going to be easy? You thought just because you made up your mind to rise, life was going to step aside and let you walk into success without a fight? Absolutely not. The second you start pulling yourself up, distractions, doubts, and deception will start pulling at you. It's like clockwork. The moment you decide you want better, the moment you start building your own ladder, the traps will show up. So if you're serious about getting up from the bottom, you better learn how to spot the devil before he snatches you back down. Now, I'm not talking about some red-horned monster with a pitchfork. I'm talking about the real devils, the ones disguised as comfort, negativity, and bad influences. The ones that whisper in your ear, trying to convince you to quit before you even get started. Trap one, the voice in your head. You know the one, that little voice that says, you're not good enough, you'll never make it, who do you think you are? That's the devil of self-doubt. And if you listen to it, if you start believing those lies, you will sabotage your own climb before you ever get a chance to see how high you can go. Silence that voice. Drown it out with action. Prove it wrong. Trap two, the people who don't want you to win, listen carefully. Not everyone clapping for you is happy for you. Some people love to see you struggle, not because they hate you, but because your growth exposes their excuses. You start changing and suddenly they start saying, oh, you think you better than us now? You really think that's going to work? Or why are you wasting your time? Let me tell you something. Misery loves company, and failure has a fan club. Some people will do everything they can to keep you at the bottom, because if you rise, they have to face the fact that they could have risen too, but they didn't. Let them go. You can't climb with dead weight holding onto your ankles. Trap. 3, the shortcut scam. This is a big one. You're working hard, grinding, putting in the effort, and then, bam, someone offers you a shortcut, a quick way to the top, an easy way out. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's a scheme. Maybe it's just a promise of success without sacrifice. Listen to me. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Real success isn't instant. It's built brick by brick, step by step. Shortcuts lead to setbacks. Stay focused on your climb. The solution, stay watchful. The devil don't need a door. He'll sneak through a crack. So seal those cracks. Stay sharp. Stay aware. Keep your vision clear and your discipline stronger than your distractions. Because once you get past the traps, once you fight through the distractions, you'll realize something powerful. You don't just want to climb, you want to win. And that's exactly what we're talking about next. How to not just rise, but to own your success once you get there. Own your success. Don't let it own you. Now that you've climbed up from the bottom, now that you've built your ladder and fought through all the traps, there's one more thing you need to understand. Own your success. Don't let it own you. Here's the thing about success. It can be a double-edged sword. You fight your way up, you put in the work, you beat the odds, and then you finally reach the top. But once you're there, it's easy to lose yourself in the very thing you worked so hard to achieve. Success can become a trap if you let it define you, control you, and distract you from what really matters. See, we live in a world where success is often measured by what you have, by the title you hold, by the money in your bank account, or by the people who know your name. But let me tell you something. Success is not what you get, it's who you become. The pitfall of identity theft. When you finally reach the top, it can feel amazing. People start recognizing you, doors start opening, and opportunities come rushing in. But that's when the devil's trap of ego shows up. It's so easy to get caught up in the praise and the new recognition, in the status and titles that come with success. Suddenly, you start defining yourself by your achievements, but you're not your title. You're not your bank balance. You're not your accolades. And here's the truth. If you let those things define you, the fall will be harder when the tide turns. Because success can come and go. What lasts is who you are beneath the surface. The real measure of success, consistency. Real success isn't about reaching the top and sitting there hoping you won't fall. Real success is about becoming the person who consistently wins, who consistently grows, who consistently contributes, and who consistently shows up. So when you finally make it, don't stop. Don't rest on your laurels. Own your success by using it as a platform to elevate others, to inspire, to give back, and to keep growing. Success isn't just about accumulating wealth or fame. It's about creating a life of purpose, a life that reflects the effort you put in and the values you stand for, the humility factor. Now, I know it's tempting to get caught up in the game of comparison. You've worked hard to get to where you are, and you deserve recognition. But here's the secret. Humility is the key to sustainable success. When you get to the top, don't look down on the people who are still climbing. Don't turn your back on those who helped you get there. Remember, you didn't build your ladder alone. There were people who pushed you, taught you, believed in you, and helped you. Success is not just a solo act. It's a team effort. The choice to keep growing. Once you own your success, you need to make a choice. Will you let it make you comfortable, or will you use it as fuel to continue growing? The truth is, success can make you complacent if you let it. It can make you think you've arrived and there's nothing left to achieve. But success isn't the end of the journey. It's just the beginning of the next chapter. If you stop growing, you stop succeeding. So use your success as motivation to keep learning, keep challenging yourself, and keep evolving. Don't let your success make you stagnant, because if you do, you'll wake up one day realizing that while you were busy basking in the glory, life kept moving forward without you. What's next? Now, as we move forward, we're going to dive into the next critical step: how to stay grounded, stay humble, and keep your focus sharp, even when the world is telling you to take a break. Because success isn't a destination, it's a journey. And that journey, well, it's only just beginning. Stay hungry, stay humble. Now that you've climbed up from the bottom, built your ladder, fought through the traps, and owned your success, let me tell you something. This ain't the time to relax. This is the time to stay hungry and stay humble. You see, a lot of people make it to a certain level of success, and then they hit the brakes. They get comfortable. They start thinking, I made it. I can take it easy now. And that right there, that's the beginning of the fall. Success isn't a destination, it's a moving target. The moment you stop pushing, the moment you stop growing, life has a way of reminding you that nothing stays the same forever. If you don't evolve, if you don't stay sharp, if you don't stay hungry, you'll wake up one day wondering why the world passed you by. The hunger that got you here, think back to when you were at the bottom. Think back to how bad you wanted out. You were willing to grind, willing to sacrifice, willing to do whatever it took to change your life. That hunger, that's what got you here. But here's the danger. Once people start winning, they forget what it took to get there. They lose the fire. They stop waking up early, stop pushing themselves, stop chasing growth. And that's why so many people rise fast, then fall even faster. Let me tell you something. The same hunger that got you out of the bottom is the same hunger that will keep you at the top. Why humility is the secret weapon. Now let's talk about the other side of the coin, humility. Because success without humility, that's a time bomb waiting to explode. I don't care how much money you make, how many followers you have, how many awards are on your shelf. If you lose your humility, you lose everything. Humility does two things. It keeps you learning. The moment you think you know it all, you stop growing. And the moment you stop growing, you start declining. Stay a student, always. It keeps you connected. Success is never a solo journey. The people you meet on your way up, you might need them on your way down. Treat people right, stay grounded. The danger of getting comfortable. You ever notice how boxers train harder? They fight like their life depends on it until they get the title. Then suddenly they start skipping workouts. They lose their edge, and next thing you know, they lose their belt. That's how life works. Comfort is the enemy of growth. So ask yourself, are you still working like you have something to prove? Are you still showing up with the same drive, the same discipline, the same fire? Or have you gotten comfortable? The key to long-term success, the secret to sustained success is simple. Stay hungry for more, but stay humble enough to know you don't have it all figured out. The world is always changing. Industries shift, skills evolve, the game moves forward. And the only way to stay ahead is to keep pushing, keep learning, and keep climbing. And that brings us to the next step, not just winning for yourself, but helping others win too. Because true success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about what you give back. Lift as you climb. Now that you've fought your way up, built your ladder, dodged the traps, owned your success, and stayed hungry, it's time to turn around and lift someone else up. See, a lot of people think success is just about making it for themselves. They climb out of the bottom, reach the top, and then pull the ladder up behind them. But real success is about impact. Because what's the point of winning if you're the only one at the finish line? If you're the only one eating while the people around you are starving, that ain't success. That's selfishness. True leaders, true winners, lift others as they climb. While helping others helps you now, you might be thinking, I worked hard for this. Nobody helped me when I was struggling. Why should I help someone else? Let me tell you why. First, helping others keeps you grounded. It reminds you where you came from. It reminds you of the struggle, of the grind, of the hunger. And that reminder, it keeps you sharp. Second, helping others expands your legacy. When you help someone else rise, you're planting seeds that will grow long after you're gone. You're creating a chain reaction that keeps spreading long after your name is faded. That's real success. Third, it keeps your blessings flowing. See, success isn't a pond, it's a river. If you hoard everything for yourself, that water gets stagnant. But when you give, when you share, when you pour into others, the flow never stops. You stay blessed because you stay a blessing. How to lift others without losing yourself now. Lifting others doesn't mean carrying them. It doesn't mean doing the work for them. It means giving them the tools, the knowledge, and the motivation to climb their own ladder. Because here's the truth. You can't want success for someone more than they want it for themselves. You can show them the way, you can open doors, you can give advice, but they have to do the work. So don't drag people up. Inspire them to climb. Mentor someone. Pass down what you've learned. Give opportunities, open doors that were once closed to you. Encourage. Because sometimes all someone needs is to hear, you got this. The power of your example. The most powerful way to lift others, lead by example. People are always watching. They see how you move. They see how you handle success. They see how you treat people. And when they see you winning with integrity, with humility, with generosity, it gives them permission to believe that they can win too. The next step, leave a legacy now. Here's the final piece. You're not just lifting others for today. You're building something that lasts. And that's exactly what we're talking about next, how to leave a legacy that keeps growing even after you're gone. Build a legacy that outlives you now. We've talked about getting up from the bottom. We've talked about fighting through the struggle, staying hungry, staying humble, and lifting others as you climb. But let me ask you one final question. When you're gone, what will you leave behind? See, too many people spend their whole lives chasing success, chasing money, chasing titles, but they never stop to think about what actually lasts. Because here's the truth. Money fades, titles fade, even memories fade. But legacy lives on. Legacy is not about what you have. It's about what you build. It's about how many lives you touch, how many people you inspire, how many doors you open for the next generation. If you want to make your climb worth something, you need to build a legacy that keeps growing long after you're gone. The difference between success and legacy, let me break it down for you. Success is personal. Legacy is what you leave. Success can be taken away. Legacy cannot. You can lose your money. You can lose your title. But if you've built something bigger than yourself, something that continues beyond you, then you've truly won. How to build a legacy that lasts now. How do you do it? How do you make sure your impact doesn't stop with you? One, share your knowledge. Knowledge is the one thing that multiplies when you give it away. If you've learned something on your journey, teach it, pass it down, help others avoid the same mistakes you made, because wisdom unshared is wisdom wasted. Two, create something bigger than yourself. Legacy isn't just about what you do, it's about what you build. A business, a movement, a community, a philosophy, something that continues even when you're not around. Something that carries your vision forward. Three, invest in people, not just profits. You want to know what's more powerful than money? People, because when you pour into others, when you mentor, when you inspire, when you guide, you create a ripple effect that outlives you. The greatest legacies in history weren't built on wealth alone, they were built on impact. Four, lead with integrity. People don't just remember what you did, they remember how you did it. They remember the way you treated people, the way you stood for something, the way you refused to compromise your values for a quick win. Because at the end of the day, character outlives achievements. The final call. Make your life count. We've talked about the struggle. We've talked about the climb. We've talked about the mindset, the discipline, the hunger, the humility, and the responsibility of lifting others. And now it all comes down to one thing. What will you do with everything you've learned? See, life is a journey, and the road from the bottom to the top is never smooth. It's full of setbacks, detours, and moments where you'll feel like giving up. But the difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is simple. Winners keep moving forward no matter what. If you're at the bottom right now, understand this. Where you are today is not where you have to stay. Your circumstances do not define you. Your past mistakes do not define you. The obstacles in front of you do not define you. The only thing that defines you is what you decide to do next. The journey recap, from struggle to legacy. We started this journey by recognizing where you are and deciding to rise. Because everything begins with a choice. The choice to stop making excuses, to stop blaming, and to start taking ownership of your life. Then we talked about building your ladder step by step. Success isn't one giant leap. It's a series of small, consistent actions that add up over time. You don't need a shortcut. You need a strategy, discipline, and the courage to keep climbing. We tackled the reality of the traps that come with success. Ego, comfort, and complacency. Because the same things that help you win can also cause you to fall if you're not careful. Success isn't about getting lucky. It's about staying sharp and refusing to let your past victories make you lazy. Then we got into owning your success instead of letting it own you. Because real winners don't just chase titles, money, and validation. They build themselves into the kind of person who can handle success with humility and purpose. We emphasize the importance of staying hungry and staying humble, because the moment you stop growing, life will find a way to hunt. Comfort is the enemy of greatness, and if you want to keep rising, you have to stay willing to learn, adapt, and push yourself to the next level. And then we talked about the responsibility that comes with success, lifting others as you climb, because true success isn't about standing at the top alone. It's about bringing others with you, about creating opportunities for the people behind you, about using your journey to inspire and empower. And finally, we brought it all home with the most important step, building a legacy. Because success is temporary, but impact lasts forever. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for others lives on. Your final decision, rise or stay the same. Now, you got everything you need. You got the knowledge, the mindset, and the steps. The only thing left? Action. You can listen to all the motivational speeches in the world. You can read all the books, take all the courses, and plan all you want. But if you don't take action, nothing changes. So today, make a decision. Decide to rise. Decide to build. Decide to lead. Decide to leave a legacy that outlives you, because at the end of your life, you don't want to look back and see wasted potential. You don't want to see dreams you never chased, chances you never took, and impact you never made. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your life. Make it count.